Welcome to this in-depth study on the morphology of flowering plants. We will explore the external structures of angiosperms, roots, stems, leaves, and flowers, and how they maximize survival and reproduction. Our roadmap starts with the underground root system, moves upward to the vegetative shoot system of stems and leaves, then dives into the reproductive morphology of flowers, concluding with fruits and technical descriptions. Plant morphology is the study of external form and features. Every shape and structure, from the leaf angle to a root hair, is a physical solution to a biological need, such as absorption, photosynthesis, or reproduction. The root system is the plant's underground foundation and source of water. It develops from the radicle of the embryo, forming a primary root that branches into secondary and tertiary roots, creating a massive network. The taproot system is common in dicots. It features a persistent, strong main root that grows straight down for stability and deep water access, like in a mustard plant. Monocots, like wheat, have a fibrous root system. The primary root is short-lived and replaced by a dense cluster of thin roots from the base of the stem, excellent for quick surface water absorption and preventing soil erosion. Adventitious roots are the renegades. They do not grow from the radicle. They can sprout from stems, leaves, or branches to provide extra support or aeration, seen in grass nodes, banyan branches, or maize stem bases. The root tip has functional zones. The root cap protects the tip. Above it, the meristematic zone creates new cells, the elongation zone pushes the root deeper, and the maturation zone forms root hairs for water absorption. Roots often modify their shape for food storage. In carrots, the main taproot swells with nutrients. In sweet potatoes, adventitious roots become thick with starch. These swollen roots act as underground batteries for the plant. Mechanical support modifications include prop roots, like the pillar-like hanging roots of a banyan tree, and stilt roots at the base of stems, like in maize, which act as a tripod to prevent the plant from tipping. In swampy areas, plants develop pneumatophores or breathing roots. These snorkel-like structures grow vertically upward from the soil to obtain oxygen from the air, as seen in the Rhizophora plant. The stem, developing from the plumule, is the plant's central axis, bearing branches, leaves, and flowers. It is defined by nodes, where leaves sprout, and internodes, the segments between those nodes. Some stems grow underground to store food and survive harsh conditions. Examples include the potato tuber, which is a swollen stem tip, and the rhizome of ginger, both identifiable by the presence of nodes or eyes. Stems are modified for climbing and defense. Stem tendrils are coiled structures that help weak plants climb toward light. Thorns are hard, woody stems used for protection against herbivores, as seen in citrus. In arid regions, the stem becomes a phylloclade. This green, fleshy, and flattened structure, like in cactuses, takes over photosynthesis, while leaves are reduced to spines to prevent water loss. The leaf is the plant's photosynthetic factory. It is a lateral structure consisting of the leaf base, the petiole or stalk, and the wide lamina or blade, which contains the chlorophyll for making sugar. Venation describes the arrangement of veins. Reticulate venation forms a web-like network, typical of dicots. Parallel venation, common in monocots like grasses, features veins running side by side. A simple leaf has one continuous lamina. A compound leaf has a lamina that is completely broken up into separate leaflets. The distinction is that only the simple or compound leaf has a bud at the base of its stalk. Phyllotaxy is the pattern of leaf arrangement to maximize light absorption. Leaves can be alternate, spiraling up the stem, opposite, facing each other in pairs, or whorled, forming a circle around the node. Leaves undergo various modifications. They can become tendrils for climbing, spines for defense, fleshy layers for food storage, or even mechanical insect traps, like in the Venus flytrap for nutrient acquisition. Inflorescence is the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. In racemose, the main axis continues to grow. In cymose, the main axis ends in a flower, limiting growth and forcing new flowers on lower branches. The flower is a modified shoot for sexual reproduction, arranged in 4 whorls on the thalamus. These are the protective sepals and attractive petals, followed by the pollen-producing androecium and the egg-containing gynoecium. Flowers have biological symmetry. Actinomorphic flowers have radial symmetry and can be divided equally in any radial plane. Zygomorphic flowers have bilateral symmetry, divisible into equal halves in only one vertical plane. The ovary position is key. Hypogynous means the ovary is superior, sitting on top of other parts. Perigynous means it is half inferior. Epigynous means the ovary is inferior, enclosed within the stalk. The outer whorls include the calyx, which is the layer of sepals protecting the bud, and the corolla, composed of brightly colored petals for attracting pollinators. Estivation is the arrangement of sepals or petals in the bud. Patterns include valvate, where edges touch, twisted, where they overlap, and vexillary, where a large petal wraps around smaller ones, characteristic of peas. The androecium is the male part, composed of stamens that produce pollen in the anthers. Stamens can exhibit cohesion, uniting into one bundle, as in monadelphous, or multiple groups. The gynoecium is the female center, composed of one or more carpels. It includes the stigma, which receives pollen, the style, and the ovary, which contains the ovules that will become seeds. Placentation describes how ovules are arranged inside the ovary. Examples include marginal, along the edge in peas, axile, in the center with partitions like in a tomato, and basal, a single ovule at the base, like in a sunflower. A fruit is a ripened ovary consisting of a pericarp wall and seeds. Its role is to protect the seeds and aid in their dispersal, either through fleshy structures like a mango or dry mechanisms. Parthenocarpic fruits form without fertilization. A seed develops from an ovule and is essentially a tiny, packaged plant. It has a protective seed coat and an embryo, which contains the radicle for roots and the plumule for the stem. Seeds are classified by the number of cotyledons. Dicot seeds, like beans, have 2. Monocot seeds, like corn, have only 1, often accompanied by protective sheaths for the root and shoot, and a special shield called the scutellum. Botanists use a standard language to precisely describe flowering plants, including vegetative and floral characteristics, culminating in the floral diagram and the floral formula. The floral formula is shorthand for the flower's structure. K is for calyx, C for corolla, A for androecium, and G for gynoecium. A line below the G indicates a superior ovary. The Fabaceae family, or pea family, includes pulses and beans. Key features are pinnately compound leaves, racemose inflorescence, and zygomorphic flowers. They are economically important for food and nitrogen fixation. The Solanaceae, or potato family, includes foods like tomatoes and brinjal. They are characterized by alternately arranged leaves, actinomorphic flowers, and a persistent calyx, often seen as the green cap on a tomato. The Liliaceae, or lily family, are monocot herbs that grow from bulbs. Their flowers have a perianth, meaning sepals and petals look the same. They are valued as ornamentals and for medicine like aloe. In summary, the morphology of flowering plants is a story of incredible adaptation. Angiosperms have built complex architectures, from underground networks to intricate reproductive systems, making them the most successful plants on Earth. Before concluding, ensure you can distinguish key structures, root systems, stem modifications, reticulate versus parallel venation, and the different patterns of phyllotaxy, symmetry, and placentation.